What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We have an exciting video for you guys today. This is an updated tutorial, Facebook ads for insurance agents A to Z. I haven't done a tutorial like this since I started my business back in 2019, and it's time to do a refresh of this tutorial. I think last time we did a tutorial like this, it got 15,000 plus views, and I can't imagine how many people it ended up helping in their business. And so I'm so excited to bring a new refreshed video to you guys because Facebook is constantly changing the platforms, switching around the buttons on me, all that stuff. So let's jump into it. This video is going to be no fluff. We're gonna get right to it, showing you exactly how to run Facebook ads for your insurance business in order to generate your own leads so that you don't have to rely on lead vendors. You don't have to do any of that. You can be fully self-sufficient. Two quick things I wanna hit before we jump in. First of all, if you guys get value from this video, please hit the like button, but more than that, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps. The more we can get more subscribers, it helps us to grow the channel, and it helps for me to know that you guys like the content so I continue to make these videos for you. The second thing is, if you go to the link below in the description, you can click to join our free Facebook group. And inside of that Facebook group, the way that group is used is I make this content on YouTube, and then we go to the Facebook group and we post it, and it creates a thread where I can provide additional insights, where I can do some Q&A, and I can actually help you guys and interact with you guys. So if you guys are not a part of that Facebook group and you wanna be, now is the time. Go click that button and join the group. All right, let's jump in to the computer. Okay, so we're just getting after it with this video, and we're gonna open up a fresh Chrome tab right here. Actually, I do like to do it in Chrome, but I run all of my ads through my wife's account, which is on Safari. So we're gonna actually do Safari, but I do recommend doing Chrome for the most part. Just makes things a lot easier. There's less glitches when you're using Chrome. So we're going to go and we're gonna open up business.facebook.com. Now, there's a few things that you guys are gonna want and need in order to execute on this particular video. So you're gonna need to have a Facebook page that you're gonna run your ads from. If you don't have a Facebook page, I'll go ahead and link to a previous video that we have just done that is showing you how to create your Facebook page. And then the second thing is you're gonna need a business manager. And if you haven't done that, then you're gonna wanna go back and check one of the previous videos on my channel and look for how to create a business manager. But once you have that and you have some ad copy, which we're also gonna have a previous video done for that as well too. Once you have those things all in place, then this is the video for you. And if you guys don't yet, you guys can watch through this so you know exactly what it's gonna look like, and then go make those assets so you can follow along with me, click by click, step by step. So once we open up the business manager, what we're gonna do is we're going to go into our ad account. And if you don't have your ad account just nicely on the page right here, that's totally fine. Just go up to all tools, and then we're gonna click on ads manager. It's gonna do the same thing. So once we are in ads manager, we wanna make sure that we're in the campaign setting. Most of you guys are going to not have anything like this showing up unless you've ran ads before. But if you've ran ads before, then you guys will see your previous campaigns, all of that stuff. But if you guys haven't, then you guys shouldn't have anything here. So you'll have your campaigns, your ad sets, and your ads. And what we wanna do is we wanna start completely fresh. So we're gonna go ahead over here and click create. We're gonna be doing what is called a lead form ad in this tutorial today. And this is the easiest way to get started. So I know that a lot of people that are searching for this, they don't have too much experience with running ads. They maybe have never ran ads before, or they have and maybe didn't get the results that they were looking for. And so the tutorial I'm making today, and really where I wanna pour most of my energy in with these tutorials, are getting to your first 10 or 10 to 15K consistently with insurance. And the reason that we're focusing on that and with these tutorials is because this is the simplest way to run ads when you're at that place in your business. Once you hit 6 figures though, the game changes. We no longer want to be chasing people. We no longer want to be inefficient with our time. We wanna make sure that every single thing that we're doing is the most efficient and most revenue generating activities and the most leverage we can get out of the small asset of time that we have. So if you're at a point where you're above 6 figures and you're wanting to really scale, there's a whole different strategy, and that's what my main business is about. My main business is Insurance Advertising Masters, and we show insurance agents how to flip the script and get people to come to them, creating a very scalable asset through ads. But before you get to that point, you need to be at a consistent place where you're generating capital. And if you aren't currently at 6 figures, this is one of the quickest ways to get there, is to create some simple Facebook ads through forms in order to get and generate your own leads, so you're not paying the markup to lead vendors, so you can control the copy, so you know that they're not deceptive, and you know exactly what it's saying, and you just have full control. It just makes it so much easier to run your business than relying and outsourcing all of this other stuff. So that's what we're gonna be focusing on today. If you guys are above 6 figures or getting close to it and you wanna learn how to flip the script and get people to come to you, because they already know what you want to talk about, you've covered their pain points, all of that stuff. You want to learn how we do that with funnels, Facebook ads, and YouTube ads, I'll put a link below where you guys can book a call. But for everyone else, as you're trying to stack capital to get to that point where we're really learning to scale, up to that point, it's all about stacking capital. This is the tutorial for you. So with that being said, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna go into leads, and we're gonna use instant forms, which allows us to stay native to the platform. We don't have to learn how to create websites, funnels, any of that stuff, which we don't want to, because we just want to keep things as simple as possible at the beginning. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna click on manual leads campaign, and then we're gonna press continue. And inside of here, everything within an ad account really feels like, and the best analogy is a filing cabinet. So your ad account is a filing cabinet, your campaign is the drawers, and your ad sets are the folders, and then your ads are all the pieces of paper inside of the folders. So that's gonna be the main theme that we're gonna see as we're getting in here. So this is gonna follow that exact same process. So we've got the campaign, the ad set, and the ad, the campaign, the ad set, and the ad. These buttons on the side do the same thing as these buttons across the top here. So first thing we wanna do is come in here and name your campaign. You guys can name it whatever you want. And you can put a date in here so you know when you created this. Getting close to 2024 here. All right, so we're gonna name the campaign. We're not gonna do any special ad categories, really, because this tutorial is for generating your own insurance leads. If you guys are watching this and you do something else, if it falls within credit, employment, housing, or social issues, you will wanna create and click on one of these categories, which all that's gonna do is it's gonna put a little bit more speculation on you from Facebook, and it's gonna limit the things and selections you can have for targeting. It's not that big of a deal, but it's better than if you're actually using one of these categories, not clicking this, because if you try and circumvent their systems, they could shut you down. But for insurance, don't worry about it. Don't click on one of these categories. It's unneeded extra attention. Buying type, we're gonna keep as auction. Objective, we're gonna keep as leads. AB, we're gonna keep off, and advantage campaign budget, we're gonna keep off as well. That's something that we can get into in future videos with more advanced training, but especially with your first ad, when we're getting something out to test initially, we wanna keep campaign budget off. We wanna have the budget being at the ad set level. So then we're gonna go to next, so we can either press up here, we can press up here, or we can press next down here. All right, then you have your ad set name, so go ahead and name that whatever you want. I typically like to make a name that lets me know like what my ad copy is called, so I'll write some ad copy out, and then I will put a title there that reminds me of what that ad copy is going to be about. So whatever you guys are doing, I would use the ad copy title and then potentially the audience that you're targeting inside of this as well too. If you guys don't know that stuff, just give it a name like ad set 1. All right, so this tutorial, really, I feel like the people that watch this channel that are going to be able to be trying to get to their first 6 figures, most of them are going to get a ton of value out of how to create and generate leads for final expense. So I'm probably going to stick this tutorial to that, but realize that, if you want to generate leads for mortgage protection, if you want to generate leads for simple term, if you want to generate leads for ACA, if you want to generate leads for Medicare Advantage, you can apply these same concepts and just translate this video and the ad copy to the type of insurance leads that you want to generate. Now, if you're the type of person that sells cash value whole life, IULs, annuities, turning 65, Medicare, Those types of things take a lot more education, and lead forms are not the way for that. You're not going to attract the right types of people if you're using lead forms. They're too simplistic, and even though you may get leads, your show up rate's gonna be garbage, and it's not gonna be the types of people that you wanna be doing that business with. But for most of the people that actually know how to sell those products, my guess is that you're at 6 figures or getting close to it, or at least have a plan to get there through referrals and things like that. So if you are, that's really like our bread and butter. That's what we teach over at Insurance Advertising Masters, is how to use funnels to bring those types of people to you. We also use funnels for mortgage protection and final expense and ACA and all that other stuff, but these ones are simple for those types of products. Please don't try and use lead forms for those more complex products. You really aren't gonna create a scalable system that way. All right, let's keep going. Instant forms. That's what we wanna choose. That way we're staying native to Facebook. We're not creating our own landing pages or anything. It just is nicely created inside of Facebook. So go ahead and choose the Facebook page that you want. And then the next thing that you need to do is you need to accept their terms. I've already accepted their terms, but you need to go in, you need to read them, make sure that you comply with everything, and then accept the terms. All right, so performance goal, I always just suggest doing maximum number of leads. The other option is maximize number of conversion leads, but we're using a lead form anyway. And that's the whole point of this. So at the beginning, we really want to be getting volume. This is something that you can test. You guys are going to notice as you start getting into Facebook ads and online advertising that there's going to be tons of things that you can test, and you should test to see if you get a better ROI and a better profit. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. But let's just start with maximize number of leads to start with, because we want more at bats when you're starting out. And if we go straight into maximize the number of conversion leads before we have data as to who those people are that are converting and are ideal, it's not going to have any data to choose those people from. It's going to take the data that Facebook has, but it doesn't really know anything about us and our ad account and who we're really going for. So that's why I always like to start with maximize the number of leads. Cost per result. There are ways that you guys can create bids and things like that, but most of the time that's not needed. And whenever I've tested that stuff, unless you're in a very competitive market and you're trying to bully people out of it, I almost never touch this. I just leave it as is. We can click on show more options. Impressions is when you get charged. You don't have the option to change that. Delivery type standard. Don't have the option to change that either. All right, dynamic creative. We're just gonna leave that off for right now. Again, that's something that's more advanced. Dynamic creative, basically it tests all these different headlines and images and all this stuff for you. But the problem is we want to use dynamic creative later when we're scaling and we have 4 or 5 winning headlines and 4 or 5 winning images and 4 or 5 winning ad copies, not when we're testing to where it can just throw all this stuff willy-nilly together and we don't know what actually is working. At the beginning, we want to test and see what patterns we can recognize as to what's working and what is the winners when it comes to advertising. Daily budget, if we're really just like trying to do one campaign, one ad set, and one ad, I'd suggest probably starting this at whatever you're most comfortable with. Anywhere between, 20 is fine if you're really on the conservative side. Otherwise, $50, $100 a day is a good place to start. It really gets Facebook enough data, but some people aren't ready for the budget of that. So $20 is totally fine to start out with. I probably wouldn't start much higher than 100. If you start seeing green lights and signs of life, you guys can quickly scale up from 100. And the way I recommend doing that is initially, I like to double my budgets until I get to about $250 a day. And then after $250, I only like to increase by around 20 to 30% at most at that point. All right, now we're going into start date. I just keep it as is. It's basically, it'll start running as soon as it gets approved if you don't touch anything here. End date, I don't like to do end dates. I like to run these things 24/7. And if I want to shut something off, I'm in control and I'm the one shutting it off. All right, audience controls. So if you're doing final expense and you're registered in every single state, then just leave the United States as the target. Or if you're in a position where you want to just advertise in every state, and then once you get leads in certain states, then you want to get those licenses. You can leave United States as well. Otherwise, if you're like, hey, I want to get my state only, obviously it's pretty easy. You just type in here the state that you want to advertise in. And then if you are face-to-face, which if you're face-to-face, I would really start working on leveling up those skills to be able to sell over the phone. It really creates a much more scalable business. And if you're gonna be growing a skill in the first place, I would just start by growing your phone sales skills rather than doing face-to-face, especially in this day and age. But that's up to you. But if you want to only do a certain radius, you can type in your city name, and you can put a radius from anywhere from 10 to 50 miles, and it will attempt to target people inside of here. It's pretty accurate. It's about 80% accurate. About 20% of the leads you get will be outside of that. And there's different reasons for that, which you guys can like ask if you're very curious, but mostly it's about like people moving and addresses changing. But that is the way to target people in a physical area so that you can get leads and then, you know, actually go meet with them in person, set appointments, all of that stuff. So you guys are gonna set your location to whatever you want. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the whole state. And then if you want multiple states, just type another one right in here. And it adds the state to it as well. So now you're in 2 states. So just add any of your states in here and you can do it state by state by state. You can also exclude states if that's something that you feel like you should do. So if you're doing Nebraska and you wanna make sure nobody comes in, sneaks in from Iowa through maybe somebody sharing your ad, you could do Iowa and then exclude it, for example. Okay, so that's our location. Now, advantage audience. So I really like to have control of these things. As you get more data in the account, you can use these advantage things and try to let Facebook's algorithm go for you. And that is definitely a strategy that can work, but I like to have data in the account so that Facebook's algorithm is based off of some prior learning, not just a brand new account that has no prior learning and we're just gonna let the algorithm figure it out. Typically that's gonna get you worse results than you controlling things at the get-go. So we're gonna click on switch to original audience options, and then that opens all of this stuff. So age range, if we're doing final expense, you know, this is gonna be up to you and who ideally you wanna sell, who your carriers allow age-wise, but I like doing 50 to 65. Sometimes I'll do like 51 to 65 because if everybody else that's watching this video or watching any of the tutorials is doing 50 to 65, by me just changing this a little bit, you know, you could do 51 or you could do 49. But by changing it a little bit, you're going to reach a different pocket. You're gonna be just slightly different than what everybody else is doing. So I typically like to do odd numbers. I like to do odd numbers with my budgets too. So like we set that earlier at $20. You know, realistically, when I go through, I do like 21.67 because maybe that 67 extra cents will outspend somebody else spending 20, and I'll end up getting a lead for 67 cents because I had that on there. So that's my theory behind it. It's worked out well for me in the past, but you guys have full control over this stuff. Genders, I would suggest just leaving as is. And then this is where detailed targeting is gonna come in. So if you guys don't know anything about targeting, we've got videos on targeting, everything about Facebook, understanding audiences, how to find the people that you're trying to target, all of that stuff. So just go search our videos for any of our previous targeting videos that we've made to get a good understanding of this. But you know, for final expense, really anybody that is between the ages 51 and 65 could qualify for final expense. You guys are probably going to have a natural group of people that you tend to work with. So I would start thinking about like who that is, maybe who's an influencer that they follow, maybe who is a author that they read, you know, a magazine or a TV show person that they follow. Those are all like really good targeting options that still show up. You know, you could do LeBron, you could do The Price is Right. LeBron's probably gonna bring in a younger age demographic. You got The Price is Right. That's gonna probably be, at this point, probably a quite older demographic. So you guys get the point. Put something in here. I really only like to choose one detailed targeting per ad set. And then if I want to test something else out, I'll duplicate this ad set and then I'll come in here and I'll do a completely different detailed targeting option so I can see what's actually working, what's attracting people. But go ahead and do your research from our previous targeting videos and then choose the audience that you want, and you're gonna put that in here, right here in the detailed targeting. And then I would probably suggest keeping the advantage detailed targeting button unchecked. Depending on when you're watching this, it may not even be an option to check this. In the past, they've added this, they take it away, they add it, they take it away. So it could be an option. If it is, I would leave it unchecked. If they're like, we're doing it, the algorithm's taking over, it doesn't matter, nothing you can do about it. So then at that point, just leave it in there. Then we hit the language settings. So the language settings right here, I typically don't touch if I'm doing in English. If I'm trying to attract Spanish speakers, then I am gonna put Spanish in here. All right, perfect. Now we're gonna go into placements. These days, advantage placements have been working really well. It used to be called automatic placements. It lets Facebook's machine learning decide where it wants to place things for you. So I would probably start by doing this, and then in the future you could do a test where you duplicate the ad set and then choose what placements you want to do. If you guys want to control your placements, or say maybe like you don't want to show on Instagram, you can uncheck that. Maybe say you don't want to show on Audience Network. Sometimes I don't like to do Audience Network because it's showing on a website. I feel like you get less engagement of people that are on websites than you do on people looking at ads on Facebook, but it can bring in cheaper impressions. So that's why I do usually like to start with the automatic placements, and if we find some winners there, perfect. If not, this can be one of the things that you play with. And then inside here, you can drill down into all the different places that Facebook can show their ads on. But really, like if we're just trying to get the best cost, again, I would just let Facebook run that. Where if you really want to be like the highest real estate of any of, like if you're spending money, you're like, I want to show up, then I would just come in here and I would do Facebook, Instagram, I would uncheck Audience Network, I would do feeds and reels, I would uncheck that, and I would uncheck that. And then inside of here, Facebook feed, Instagram profile feed, Facebook marketplace, no. Facebook video feeds, no. Instagram Explorer, yes. Instagram Explorer Home, yes. That's fine. And then stories and reels, I definitely would use. There's just so much traffic going to stories and reels these days. I would always keep these in here. Okay, perfect. So that's if you want to get, just making sure that every single dollar you spend is going towards the best real estate on Facebook. That's what I would do. But for most people, I would just stick with advanced or advantage placements, or automatic placements as it used to be called. Perfect. All right, we're moving through pretty quickly. That's the campaign. This is the ad set. Now we're gonna go into the ad. All right, so over here we are in the ads tab. And again, common theme is you guys get to name all of these things. So just come up with a naming convention. Again, what I like to do, the campaign doesn't really matter too much for me. I like to have like a production campaign, and I like to have a testing campaign. So you guys may want to adopt that naming convention. And then for ad sets, I usually like to give a title to the ad copy that's going to lie inside the ad set, and the audience that I'm choosing. So like earlier, you guys saw me just while I was browsing, clicked on LeBron James. If that's the audience that I was choosing, then I would probably title the ad set, name of the ad copy or angle, and then LeBron James. So I know what's going to fall inside of that ad set as far as the ads and who I'm targeting. So then lead ads, I usually just do like the title of the ad copy, and then whatever I title the image to be, because I like to put an image with it. So, maybe it's like FE ad copy 1, or an actual title so you remember it, whatever you name it, and then like funeral, and that'll be the title of the image. Okay, so we want to choose the Facebook page. We're getting an error here because it has no access to Instagram account, so we can choose an Instagram account. That's probably going to be the easiest thing. I know in the past it lets you do Instagram even if you didn't have an Instagram account linked to it. But for ease, I would probably just click connect account and create a quick Instagram account. Otherwise, you can always try and publish this with this error and it may go through anyway. That'll go away. Yeah, I would do it. If it's giving you guys that same error, some of you it may not give an error to, and it may just let you proceed even if you don't have an Instagram account selected. Otherwise, I would. There is so much traffic on Instagram. It's you'd be missing out to not put the ad on Instagram. So perfect. Now let's go into ad setup. So we're gonna do create ad. That's just the simplest way. I like to create it here. Single image or video. And then I don't want to do multi-advertiser ads, because what this does is it puts your ads next to other people that are showing similar ads. I could see that making sense if like an ad for a purse showed up and you were selling a purse, like e-commerce type ads, but I don't want to be put next to another one of my competitors. So I'm going to uncheck that. And then for ad creative, we want to come in here and we want to add an image. What I've seen to work best over the years for final expense is going to be something that's like going to get their attention. The easiest and most simple way is just to go to unsplash.com or something like it and get a stock photo. Things that work better typically are going to be you with a client that is going to be the age range and demographic of the people you're trying to go after. That tends to work really well. Or even sometimes like you speaking in front of, maybe it's at your church, or maybe there's some other sort of engagement that you've spoken at. If you have images of that demonstrate your authority, those tend to work really well as well too. But for simplicity's sake with this video, because not everybody has the ability or access to go take those photos or get those photos right now, going to Unsplash and using stock photos definitely is an option that can work for final expense. So just typing something like funeral, something like this. This is super simple. It's not the highest quality. This would probably get attention. This would get attention. I think any of these are worth testing. This one has some colors in it. This one would probably get attention. So, and then how do we use this? Just click on it right here. And then we're gonna go to download free. Okay, cool. So do you want to allow downloads on Unsplash? You can change which websites can download files in the website section of Safari. I think this is just a Safari thing. So yeah, just press allow if that pops up on your computer. So then just go to your Finder, downloads, the image is right there. I would probably change the name of it just in case. So rename it funeral photo for ads. Whatever you guys want to name it, your own naming convention works. Cool, that's a good place to go get free stock photos. There's other places where you can get paid ones. I could also do a YouTube video on how to use AI, like Midjourney and other places like that, in order to create photos for your ads. If you guys want a tutorial on that, drop it in the comments. As always, I mentioned in my videos, whatever you guys want, please be interactive in the comments telling me like what types of tutorials you guys want next. I'm always looking for what you as the viewers are looking for and what's most helpful to you. All right, so once we have that saved to our computer or any other photos that you're gonna use, we're gonna come over here, we're gonna find the image, grab it right there, and let it load. Cool, we're gonna press next. And then here's where we can come in here and make sure that things look good. It's not perfect on the 9 through 16, but I would much rather do this than this, because if we do it this way, when people are viewing ads, our text will show up above and below. So it'll still get attention on reels and phone placements that use this 9:16 thing. All right, perfect. Then we're gonna press next. You can come in here, they'll give you some places where you can optimize the images. I would take a look at these and see if there's anything that you do want to apply. So that's it, adding its own song to kind of turn this into a video. Since we have automatic play, if you do have automatic placements on, you guys can totally do that. Otherwise, you can just shut this off. But I'm just gonna leave all of this stuff as is, and I'm just gonna press done right in here. All right, so next thing we wanna go to is our primary text. This is our ad copy. So in the previous video, we went over how to write ad copy that converts, right? Most people are so used to corporate speak. They take something that their insurance company or their IMO or their FMO gave them. It's very corporate-y, and they'll use something like that. But the problem is that stuff doesn't convert. So if you guys, at this point, you should have your ad copy written out. If you haven't, go back to our previous video that talks about how to write ad copy that converts and get at least one written before we implement the next steps. Otherwise, I'd suggest having like 2 or 3 so you can make a couple different ad sets and you can test these things against each other. But you're gonna copy, you're gonna take your ad copy, you're gonna paste it into here. You're gonna take the headline that you wrote along with the ad copy and you're gonna paste it into here, and the headline shows up right there. So like if we paste the headline in here, it's gonna show up right there. So that's where the headline goes. And then description, I usually keep empty. It only shows up on certain feeds anyway, and it really, I've tested a lot, it doesn't make a huge difference, and most of the time it just doesn't even get read. Call to action, we're gonna do learn more. Good to go there. And then at this point, we're going to create our form. So this is how we're creating the native form that's inside of Facebook, so we don't have to create a full landing page or anything. It basically creates it for us, and it stays inside of Facebook. So real quick, the reason why this type of advertisement is not great for scale and getting people to come to you is because when you're running Facebook lead forms, everybody's information is auto-populated. So as soon as they click on this, they're gonna see it, and then they're going to have Facebook auto-populate. So their first name's gonna show up, last name, phone number, all that stuff, and then they just press submit. So it's about 2 to 5 seconds of their interaction, which still is them raising their hand, and people can still make tons and tons of money off these types of leads. But when you get to the point where you're already doing 6 figures, you're trying to learn how to get to mid 6 figures or 7 figures, the best thing to do is to learn leverage. And with these types of leads where you have to outbound dial and get a hold of these people and then make the sale, it creates a ton of inefficient activity, which we need to do at the beginning in order to make money, because until you have money, we need to spend time in order to make money. But once you have money, we want to eliminate as much time as we can in order to get customers, and the best way to do that is through funnels. So that ties back to my previous point that if you're at 6 figures, getting close to it, and you want to learn how to use funnels, Facebook ads, and YouTube ads, that's a completely different ball game. But for this, that's just an explanation as to why these are going to be different from the main strategy of once you hit 6 figures or close and you want to go to mid or 7, the strategy changes. So let's get into how we want to fill out this form. So you can choose more volume, higher intent, or rich creative. Honestly, higher intent's not going to really get you higher intent. It's still just like one extra step, but it doesn't really create much more intent in the people. So for that reason, I'm always just gonna select more volume. And then your intro, use the image from your ad. I always wanna use the image from my ad because that creates really good congruency. So they don't feel like they click to something and it takes them to a completely different image that doesn't make sense to them, and they may have thought they clicked on the wrong place. So I like doing use the image from your ad. And then headline, that's gonna go right there. So I have a little template right here. We're just gonna go ahead and copy paste this. This is just something that I came up with right now, just to give you an idea. So we only have 60 characters, so we're gonna put that later on. So right now for this headline, so this is a template you guys can use, and you guys can customize it to whatever you guys want. The beauty of creating your own ads is that you have full control over what it says. So you can customize this to however you want, to say whatever you want, to let them know whatever you want them to know, so that you're really getting people that know exactly what they're opting into. This is just an ideal template, and you guys can copy this. Otherwise, join the free Facebook group and ask me. I'll give you guys feedback on what to use for this type of stuff. I'm sure you guys have heard of AI and it blowing up. If you haven't, I'm definitely gonna be creating a tutorial on that. But when you're really getting started, you don't have a ton of experience with copy yet, using AI in order to just get some ideas flowing is a really, really strong tool. So if you don't have a ChatGPT account, just Google ChatGPT and learn how to sign up for that. But once you have one, it's crazy what this thing can do. So if you guys are just wanting to get some ideas flowing, you can just come in here and say, write me a headline for a Facebook lead form ad for final expense life insurance. Cool. And then if you want some to choose from, you can just say write 5 more. And then there's 5 different ones you can choose from. You don't even have to copy these. You can just use these as ideas. And then you can add your own experiences, your own, things that you're going to get people to move. You can take these as a base and add your own spice to them, which I always recommend. Next, these lead forms are really, really simple. So we'll go back over to the template. These are the questions that I want to ask. You guys can add more questions or less questions. That's totally up to you. And then we're putting in here the fields that we want to collect. So I like to do first name, last name. Okay, so we're gonna do you need life insurance? So we're gonna come up here to custom questions and we're gonna do add questions, and then we'll do multiple choice. Do you have life insurance? Yes. No. And then back over here, phone, state, date of birth. Obviously, if you're doing in person, you'd want to add address, city, state, zip code, all of that stuff. State. Wait, it used to not let you do date of birth in the past and also do Instagram. So we'll see if that pops up, but they may have fixed that. We're really just trying to get enough information for them to have some skin in the game, but all this stuff gets auto-populated anyway. Perfect. Any other questions you guys want to put in here, you can look through here. You can look at the contact fields. You can obviously do like city, street address, all that stuff if you need that. You can do gender, you can do merit. The more invasive you get, one, the less people you're going to get to fill it out. But two, if you start asking things like gender, especially in today's day and age, Facebook will be just a little bit more selective with you. They're probably going to look at your ads a little bit more in depth and make sure you're not breaking policies and things like that. So I like to keep it kind of simple, but you have all these different options, and then you can add custom questions. If you're gonna really try and do a lot with custom questions, I highly suggest you in-depth read the terms to make sure you're not asking something that's not allowed, because the last thing you want to do is ask something that's not allowed and get your ability to run lead form ads banned, which used to be a big problem back in 2019. It's definitely gotten better, but just make sure that if you're getting out of these types of regular ones and you start doing custom ones, that you read and understand the policies. Okay, the next section is a privacy policy, and this is where the thing that stops most people from running ads in general, because it's not something that most people have. Most people that are looking at running Facebook ads for the first time or looking at improving their Facebook ads, they typically don't have full-on websites with privacy policies and all of that stuff. So first of all, this is not legal advice, but this is what I'm gonna give you in order to keep moving with this so that you guys can get up and running with ads. So the easiest way, there's probably an easier way, honestly, and you may be able to do just like a privacy policy that you put you get a template from online and you put inside of your Facebook page. But this is what we've always done in the past. And so there could be an easier way, but this is just what we do to get this going. So I like to go to this website called card.co, where you can create a very simple one-page landing page. One-page website is basically what it is. And as long as nothing's changed, it's free. So easiest thing to do is to just go to Google, type in privacy policy template. And if you guys are in the Facebook group, I'll make sure that I put my template in the Facebook group so you guys can customize it to yourself. It's one we've been using for years. It seems to hit and check all the boxes. But otherwise, just go to privacy policy template. Again, this is not legal advice. Check with your lawyer before you do this, but this is how you just keep moving along. So just find a template. Looks like this one could do it. Website, mobile, maybe Facebook. Next, what is the URL address of your website? So we're gonna create a page here. You guys probably don't have a website. All right, so choosing a starting point, just go with blank canvas. Okay, got it. There's nothing here yet. Privacy policy will go here. Okay. Background. Just do something simple like that. Perfect. And then if you want to, right here, we want to add a second. This is where we're going to paste our privacy policy. So for right now, we want to get the website. So just go ahead and save this. And it's going to have you create an account. So put your name in here, put an email. Just go ahead and put a password in here. Okay, so before you can press publish, we need to put a title here. So I would just put your business's name and then privacy policy on here. So whatever your business name is, Justin Insurance privacy policy. And then a little description. Okay, and then we want to publish to a card.co URL, which makes this free. So cool. So whatever you guys want as your website name, your URL, just put in there, see if it's available. If it is, just go ahead and press publish. It's creating the website for you. And then you need to go to your email and you need to confirm that. So just go to your email, confirm that, and then this will go away. You'll be good to go. So now that you have this website, we just need to copy that, come over here to this privacy policy website, put in that right there, and then press next. Okay, we don't have applications, so we're just going to uncheck those. American. Do you have users in the United States? Most likely. Do you have users in the UK? No. Do you have users in Canada? Maybe. So you guys decide yes or no for that, and then come here and press next. Can you just create an account or register with your website or app? No, we don't do that. Do you target users under age of 18? No. The majority of users do not need to change these settings by interacting, add custom. Yeah, so I would suggest leave that as is. Again, easiest thing is just gonna be, find a template outside of this. It looks like this is taking forever. But just come into the Facebook group and I'll give you guys the template that we have. Which honestly, I'm just gonna go do that right now. Okay, so I just went and grabbed the privacy policy for Insurance Advertising Masters. Again, if you guys just, you could go to any websites and you could get the template from there. You can go to Google, you can get templates. Ideally, if you have a lawyer, go to your lawyer and get a template. But for ease, right now, I'm just going to go and plug this in right here. So once you get your privacy policy, you edit it, you put your business in there, all of that stuff. Then you're just gonna paste it. That is good enough for me. Gonna press done and then save. This is all already good to go. You wanna make sure that your business is in there, all of that stuff. But then once it is, you are good to go. You just need to make sure that you confirm that email and then that will go live. So let me go do that real quick. Okay, cool. And once you got this site made and ready and good to go, you're just gonna make sure you save it and then go ahead and copy the link to the site. And then we're gonna come over here, back over to privacy policy, and we're going to drop the link right there. And then your privacy policy link can't go directly to a PDF, JPEG, image, or download. Yeah, unfortunately, they make you do the whole website rigmarole. Okay, and then we're just gonna put text in here. So whatever your business name is, you're gonna put that in here. So in this example, I'm just calling it Justin Insurance, and then privacy policy, and then we'll keep moving. If you wanna add a custom disclaimer, you totally can. You don't have to. And then as soon as somebody submits it, that's what this page is right here. So perfect. We can do, there's a couple different options here as well. And it just depends on like what you're trying to do and what your goals are. So we can just do like, thanks, you're all set. And then you can visit our website or exit the form now. That's what they suggest. You guys can keep that. If you want to do view website, however, if you don't have a website, typically what I'll do in that situation is just go to Facebook and grab the profile link. So if you wanted to do that, you can just open up another tab, go to Facebook, search for your page. This is the one I created before, and then you can just grab your profile link right here, and you can do put your page right there. Otherwise, you can give them a file, or you can do call business. If you guys like inbound calls, that's probably what I would recommend. You can put your phone number in here, and call to action. This is where we can like kind of change up the text here, and we can do like, you're almost done. Description, thank you for submitting a request. Our financial specialist will reach out to you shortly, or you can skip the line by calling in now. And then just something like call now. That's probably, if you guys enjoy inbound calls and you have the bandwidth for it, that's probably what I would do with this, because if you can get inbound calls, you know those people are relatively hot. Okay, cool. And then you're just gonna click create form to finalize this. So we'll go ahead and click create form, and then you should have titled it, and then you're gonna wanna select that form right here. If this is the first time doing it, you guys will have only one form here. If you guys have done it before, you'll see multiple. Make sure you select the one you just created. And then at this point, everything else is all set up and ready to go. We don't need to do anything with CRM events or pixels or any of that stuff. That's great once you really start to scale and start to use Facebook ads in order to bring people to you when you're using funnels alongside Facebook ads. But for right now, we're just gonna keep it simple. Again, this is the best way to really get started, generate your own leads, start getting some money, stacking capital, and then we can move into those more fun, more advanced ways, once you're at that point. Perfect. So at this point, all you would need to do is press publish, and it will publish the campaign, the ad set, and the ad. Otherwise, another way to do that is to just exit right here, review and publish. You can go into and see all three of these right here and just publish, and it will publish all of those. It'll typically take a day, 24 hours, up to like 48 hours to review, make sure it's all compliant and good to go. And then it'll start running, and then you'll start seeing leads coming in, and they'll come into the Facebook platform, and you'll be able to manage those inside of this platform in here. So as long as everything that you guys did resonates with your target audience and they feel like you understand them, you're hitting on their pains, all of that stuff, this will start bringing you leads that you can then call, set appointments with, and start writing some business. Awesome, guys. If you guys got value from this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the bell so you can get notified when we do drop new videos, new tutorials, all this awesome value that we're trying to bring. And if you haven't yet and you're looking for a specific video that you'd like us to make, engage with us. Let us know in the comments. Looking forward to continuing making content. I'll see you guys on the next one.